India Legal presents Courts Roundup.
Hello, I am Tanya Chugh and you are watching Courts Roundup. In this program, we bring you the latest legal news and details of court proceedings. Before we begin, here are the headlines. Kerala government challenges High Court order of the raising number of daily permissible pilgrims to Sabrimala. Government cities COVID restrictions to reduce numbers. In a PIL against farmers' protest, the petitioner seeks to implead 35 more farmer bodies as additional respondents. Last week, 8 farmer bodies have been impleaded by Supreme Court. Delhi High Court intervenes to provide safety to interfaith couple from Uttar Pradesh. Couple provided safe shelter in Delhi. Patna High Court quashes criminal prosecution against 18 foreign tabligis for lack of evidence. Case relates to violation of visa requirements.
India Legal presents Courts Roundup.
Kerala government has moved Supreme Court against High Court decision to raise the number of daily permissible pilgrims as 5,000. The Kerala government wants the number restricted to 2,000 per day and 3,000 on weekends due to COVID-19. In its appeal in the top court, the Kerala government has said its high-level panel had capped number of visitors to Sabrimala temple based on a health ministry advisory.
The Kerala government has filed a special leave petition in the Supreme Court challenging the direction of the High Court of Kerala to raise the number of daily permissible pilgrims as 5,000. Taking note of the COVID-19 pandemic situation, a high-level committee under the chairmanship of the Kerala Chief Minister had decided on 5th October to permit pilgrimage at Sabrimala during the present Mandalakalam season, allowing 1,000 daily pilgrims on weekdays and 2,000 daily pilgrims on weekend and 5,000 daily pilgrims on special puja days. The pilgrims were required to register through the virtual queue system and to provide COVID-negative certificate from an authorized lab. Challenging these restrictions, several devotees had filed writ petitions in the High Court. On 18 December, a division bench of Justices C.T. Ravikumar and K. Haripal disposed of the petition raising the permissible number as 5,000. In the SLP challenging this direction, the state government says that the number of police officials, health officials and pilgrims affected by COVID-19 in Sabrimala temple so far is on the higher side. The entry to the temple is controlled by a virtual queue managed by the police personnel and pilgrims are tested for COVID-19 before allowing them to enter the temple. Increase in the number of pilgrims will put the police personnel and the officials of the health department in great strain and difficulty in controlling the pilgrims of the magnitude, the plea filed in the top court says. The SLP also makes a mention about the new strain of coronavirus detected in the United Kingdom, which has led the Union government to cancel the flights from UK. It is also stated that during the pendency of the petition in the High Court, the high-level committee had raised the number from 1,000 to 2,000 per day on weekdays and 3,000 on weekends. While ordering the increase of daily pilgrims, the High Court noted the revised health advisory for Sabrimala package submitted by the Health Department on 14 December. Bureau Report.
The petitioner in the PIL against farmers' protest has filed an application in the Supreme Court to implead 35 more farmer organizations as additional respondents in the case. Last week, the Supreme Court had allowed the impleadment of 8 farmer organizations. The court said that it was considering to set up an independent committee to mediate between the protesting farmers and the central government. However, the court refrained from passing any substantive directions in that regard as the impleaded 8 farmer organizations did not appear before the bench on the next date of hearing. On the next date of hearing on December 17, these 8 groups were not represented before the court. The petitioner claimed that they were served notice. The bench headed by the CJI S.A. Bobde orally observed that it may not be appropriate to pass orders without hearing the organizations, which were added as respondents only. Bharatiya Kisan Union, which has filed an intervention application in the cases challenging farm laws, appeared before the court. However, Solicitor General told the court that BKU and other farmer unions were not on the same page on the issues. In this backdrop, the court adjourned the hearing, observing that the farmers' protest can continue without impediment and without breach of peace by protesters and police. While adjourning the hearing, the CJI also orally asked the Attorney General for India if the centre can consider withholding the implementation of the contentious farm laws to facilitate the negotiations. The Supreme Court has issued notices on a batch of petitions which challenge the constitutional validity of the said acts. A vacation bench of the Supreme Court has dismissed a plea which challenged the reservation notification issued by the State Election Commission for local body heads on the ground that will lead to successive consecutive reservations of the post of Panchayat presidents and municipality chairpersons.
A Supreme Court bench comprising Justice Indra Banerjee and Hemant Gupta observed that election process cannot be interfered within the middle. This was observed while dismissing the petition which challenged the reservation notification issued by the State Election Commission for local body heads. The bench noted that the result of local body election were declared on 16 December and that the election of Panchayat president is scheduled on 30 December. The counsel for the petitioner submitted that the post of president in his panchayat has been reserved for caste committee for 2 terms consecutively, despite the fact that there was scheduled caste reservation for the post during the previous term, 2015 to 2020. The same has been notified for the present term of 2020 to 2025 as well, the petitioner urged. The bench observed that it was in agreement with the High Court decision. It also cited that the constitutional bar under Article 243 of the Constitution of India, which bar interference by court in electoral matter. The bench observed that the petitioner may file an election petition before the appropriate forum in accordance with law with respect to his grievance. The special leave petition was filed against a division bench judgment of the Kerala High Court, which had set aside a direction issued by a single bench to the State Election Commission to recast the reservation for scheduled caste and women to post president and chairperson of panchayat and municipalities. On 16 November, a single bench of Justice A. Muhammad Mustaq had issued a direction to recast the quota after observing that successive or consecutive reservation to the office of the chairperson and president of the local authorities is illegal. On 14 December, a division bench of High Court caused the above direction after nothing that without disturbing the election recasting will be impossible. Bureau Report.
For more updates in this case, we have Advocate Shivam Sharma with us. Shivam, tell us about the reason given by the Supreme Court for dismissal of plea challenging the reservation notification of State Election Commission.
Yes, in this case, the bench noted that the result of the local body elections were declared on December 16 and that the election of Panchayat president is scheduled on December 30. The court further observed that it was in agreement with the High Court decision. The government also cited the constitutional bar under Article 243 of Constitution of India, which banned interference by courts in electoral matters. The bench held that the petitioner must file an election petition before the appropriate forum in accordance with law with respect to his grievances. Moreover, in light of this observation, the bench of the Apex Court has dismissed a plea which challenged the resolution notification issued by the State Election Commission for local body heads on the ground that it led to successive reservation of the post of Panchayat president and municipality chairperson. Yes.
Thank you, Shivam, for joining us. The Delhi High Court intervention has brought relief to an interfaith couple from Uttar Pradesh who were seeking safe shelter in the national capital. A single-judge bench of Justice Anu Malhotra has directed the Delhi police in that event of any investigation carried out against the petitioners by the Uttar Pradesh police. The petitioners are not to be taken out of the territorial jurisdiction without prior permission of the court. It has also directed the father of the girl not to commit or omit any act designed to interfere or impede the petitioners' decision to marry each other and to ensure that no coercive action is taken against the petitioners. The interfaith couple has sought a direction to the respondent to provide adequate protection to them in as much as they are presently residing at the premises of Dhanak of Humanity under the jurisdiction of the respondent. Further, prayer was made on behalf of the petitioners seeking direction to the state of government of NCT, Delhi, to the Department of Social Welfare to provide safe house to the petitioners and make appropriate arrangements for their accommodation in view of the directions of the Supreme Court. Delhi police has informed the court that adequate safety has been provided to the petitioner. In an observation related to Delhi lawyers, a single-judge bench of the Delhi High Court comprising of Justice Pratibha M. Singh granted 2 weeks to the government of NCT of Delhi and Delhi Bar Council starting from 28 December 2020 to prepare a circular informing all advocates of the benefits of National India Insurance Company Limited policy. The order also sought to ensure that the advocates fill up their data in time. The order came in wake of the issue of non-furnishing of complete data to the NIACL as there were discrepancies in the data furnished by the advocates, as a result of which Government of NCT of Delhi decided to reopen the link to enable such advocates to complete their data. NIACL submitted that the issuance of e-cards and physical plastic cards for lawyers can only be done after the relevant data with complete and accurate details are available to the NIACL. Until the issuance of the cards, NIACL would be providing cashless services, but the claims will be reimbursed. Once the data is completely filed, the court, after taking on record NIACL submissions, ordered the Government of NCT of Delhi and Delhi Bar Association to prepare a circular informing advocates about the benefits of the NIACL policy. The ill treatment meted out to the people belonging to scheduled caste communities for the past many centuries should make us hang our heads in shame, the Madras High Court has said, adding there was little change in the situation even today.
A strong observation was made by Madras High Court on treatment of scheduled caste communities by society. A suo motu case registered by the court based on a newspaper report which highlighted the hardships faced by people belonging to SC communities owing to the absence of a road to a graveyard. The lack of a road to the graveyard was forcing them to pass through agricultural field with standing crops in Maruthur Colony, Melur Taluk, as published in 21st December. Expressing anguish over the continuing hardships faced by the scheduled caste community, a bench of justices N. Kirubakaran and B. Pugalendi said in their order, "We have to hang our head in shame for having ill-treated and discriminated the scheduled caste people for centuries together. Even today, they are not getting properly treated and offences are continuing and they are not getting appropriate basic amenities." The court added that while the act may be abused by some, especially those employed in the government, those were aberrations. The Chief Secretary of the state's Adi Dravidar and Tribal Welfare Department, the Additional Chief Secretary to the State Revenue Department and the Additional Chief Secretary to the state's Municipal Administration and Water Supply Department were suo motu impleaded as parties and directed to answer the following queries, that is, how many scheduled caste habitations are located in the state of Tamil Nadu? Whether all the scheduled caste habitations have got drinking water facilities, street lights? How many habitations do not have road to graveyards? What all steps are taken, including the acquiring of land for laying of roads for graveyards? By what time will all scheduled caste habitations be provided with water facilities, street lights, toilet facilities as well as pathways to the graveyard? The court also noted that the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Prevention of Atrocities Act 1989 was introduced to remedy the ill treatment of members of the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes and to ensure their dignity is preserved. Bureau Report.
With a rising number of cases concerning land or water encroachment, most the High Court's valuable time is spent on such encroachment cases, the Madras High Court has observed. The menace of encroachments is increasing day by day, the court observed, adding that time could have been spent on other cases requiring the court's attention is being spent on encroachment cases. The bench noted there has been no improvement in terms of removing encroachments in Tamil Nadu, going on to opine that it cannot entirely blame government officials for failing to promptly act in such cases, as the encroachment cases are often rich and powerful, while disposing of a batch of encroachment cases from 2018. Court further recommended that the state create taluk level teams to check on encroachments, comprising of revenue officials, police officials, panchayat representatives, survey officials, members of the PWD, etc. This committee should be distributed at least for 3 years. The court said, in this case, the bench directed that encroachments vacate the premises within 4 months from the order. The state was ordered to check if the persons on the encroachment land were below the poverty line or not. If they were not well off, the court has directed the government to rehabilitate them as per law. Noting that police didn't collect any material in any form to make a prima facie view that the foreigner nationals before the court had indulged in religious tablighi work, the Patna High Court has quashed entire criminal prosecution against 18 foreigners associated with Tablighi Jamaat. There were 2 pleas before the court. In the first plea, 11 petitioners were involved who are foreign nationals and they entered India on tourist visa by road through West Bengal. They visited the Nizamuddin Markaz, Delhi, prior to Tablighi conglomeration. Thereafter, they reached Area, the state of Bihar. On the other hand, the petitioner number 10 and 11 are the permanent residents of Araria district. On 22nd March 2020, Janta curfew was declared, and from 24th March, the nationwide lockdown for 21 days was declared. It was their further case that the petitioners were stranded in Revahi Markaz. They were screened by the administration and then the local administration put them in quarantine, and they remained quarantined at Revahi Markaz for the mandatory period as per government standard operating procedures. The informant alleged that none furnishing of information about their visit within the police station. The whole matter was related to a question as to whether the FIRs in question are disclosing a violation of visa conditions in terms of Section 14B of the Act of 1946, or that the petitioners may be said to have abated. The Uttarakhand High Court has asked state government about the arrangements made to restrict Christmas and New Year parties in Nainital, Mussoorie and Dehradun. A bench of Acting Chief Justice Ravi Malimat and Justice Alok Kumar Verma made the inquiry while hearing a petition filed regarding the arrangements of quarantine centers in the state. The state will have to reply during the next hearing of the case on December 30th. Meanwhile, Uttarakhand government, in the wake of increasing COVID cases in the state, issued a notification on Wednesday restricting parties and public gatherings on the occasion of Christmas and New Year's Eve and on January 1, 2021 at bars, hotels and other public places. A total of 564 new COVID-19 cases were reported in Uttarakhand in last 24 hours, taking the total COVID tally in the state to 87,940. There are 5,507 active cases in the state, while 1,447 people have died in the state due to viral infection. The Gujarat High Court has issued notice to the Gujarat Legislative Assembly Secretariat while taking up a PIL demanding regular updation of Assembly's website and disclosure of House proceedings under the RTI Act. The bench of Justice J.B. Pardiwala and Justice Ilesh J. Vora was hearing the plea filed by a social activist Neeta Hardikar, who contended that the State Legislative Assembly is obliged under Right to Information Act to regularly update relevant information on its website in Gujarat and English. The plea demands that following be disclosed by the Assembly's website: the proceedings of the Assembly, live and old telecast and transcript, the papers to be laid private members' business, 0 hour, list of questions and their answers, text of debates, text of legislations as introduced, passed, pending, assented, lapsed, withdrawn and negativated by the Assembly. information on the committees of the Assembly, summary of their work and reports prepared by them. The rules, regulations, instructions, manuals and records held by it or under its control or used by the Assembly for discharging its function, and the petitioner also submitted that the website of the Parliament and some other state assemblies have been regularly disclosing details about the House proceedings. The Bombay City Civil Court at Dindoshi dismissed a notice of motion filed by actress Kangana Ranaut in a suit challenging notice issued by the Brihanmund Municipal Corporation in connection with alleged unauthorized work carried out by Ranaut at a residential building at Khar, Mumbai. Additional Sessions Judge L.S. Chavan, however, extended the ad interim protection granted to Ranaut so that she can challenge the dismissal order in Bombay High Court. The Sessions Judge had earlier restrained the BMC officials from taking any coercive action against Ranaut's property in furtherance of the notice of her application decided by the court. This ad interim protection granted to Ranaut was extended for a period of 6 weeks to give her time to approach the High Court. Through their notice, BMC wanted to notify to Ranaut that she had carried out unauthorized work beyond the approved plan without taking the necessary permission from the corporation. Ranaut claimed in her application that the notice issued by BMC was vague and did not specify the exact nature of the alleged unauthorized construction. She further contended that the speaking order issued against her following the notice was also not in accordance with the law. Last month, the Bombay High Court had granted relief to Ranaut when the BMC officials had demolished portion of her property located at Bandra, Mumbai, for alleged unauthorized works. That's all for Courts Roundup. From the 1st of January, Courts Bulletin will be presented in Hindi, in new style and format. Keep watching APN.
India Legal presents Courts Roundup.